Okay, time to get started here. So I did a little bit of work yesterday evening off stream just to get make a little bit of progress here. So, oh, yeah, it crashed. That's not a good start. Compilation error. What did I do? Oh, right, I left it in a broken state so I can come back to this. We'll talk about that in a moment. But we've got our start time entry. We actually have a pop-up and say that what we're doing there. And then the project list is now populated. And that number underneath is the client ID. So we're not pulling the client name yet, still working on that. I don't actually retrieve client information yet. But we have the information available, which is good. So it's just a matter of setting that appropriately. I'm not handling nulls either. Oops. So I have to adjust that. But we have made some good progress. Yesterday. In fact, the code for this is actually shared. I created this list item setting which rolls this all together, and so a lot of this is kind of reusable. It's a list of items, and you need a way of displaying. You need to define a toString. Like you need the icon, you need the label for it, you need the value. You need to define how you get the value. You need to define the method that, or the function that displays in the list. And I suppose if you want, secondary information. And so this is all kind of stuff that we can generalize there. In fact, if there were, if we ever wanted to do like task management, well, then we could define that here as well. Yeah, okay, so right now, there's a couple of things that I really would like to get done next. One is I need that back button. The back button doesn't do anything yet. And so I'm trying to find this like remember nav controller thing that gets talked about within the Android, the Jetpack Compose documentation. I haven't found it yet. So I'm wondering if it's something that I need to import. I need to get that description record actually produces something. Then I need to send all this stuff back to Tasker, just to at least establish feature parity with where I was before. But I think first I'd like to start on this start time entry. So this Android navigation compose, I think I haven't. I'm wondering if this is something that I actually need to pull in. Navigating with compose. Here we are. Getting started with the navigation component. This may have been where I was before. Okay. We've got I'm curious if we can get away with how much of this do we actually need? Navigation dynamic features fragment. Either way. So this is our actual compose implementation. Indirect compose is a navigation compose, right? Okay. It's a lot of dependencies to bring. It would be nice if it was fewer. Okay, everything's there. Import function, remember nav controller. Fantastic. Okay, so this was the first thing I needed. Here's the top app bar definition. So we got the navigation icon that we need to find. And then okay. So this should be an icon button, that's what I want. This defines the on click. I want to go back. That's what I want. Pop back stack, I think is what I want. Navigate up or pop back stack. This seems... Attempts to pop the controller's back stack analogous to when the user presses the system back button when associated. Yeah, I'll take that. Icon.default.back. Arrow back. All right. This might just totally blow up because I only included one of the dependencies. Didn't blow up. Doesn't go back up the stack though. Okay. Navigate up was another one that was available. And navigate up in the navigation hierarchy. This isn't quite what I wanted either. Now, the original version of this... Okay, So I set this as going up a level anyway, so maybe this is actually what I want. Yeah, navigate up rather than pop the back stack. Let's try that. It at least aligns with what was in the MDC previously. Okay. Still not doing what I thought it would. Let's just take a look here and see. Now, I didn't actually pull in everything. So I'm sure that doesn't help. I could try just bringing everything in. Certainly the Kotlin implementation probably needs to come in. Okay, let's not cheap out on this. Let's actually do this properly. Android X navigation. And feature mode support. And then testing will be important eventually, once I eventually write them. Surprised it's not doing anything. We'll see if at least I get a... If I can at least see that this is triggering, then I can know, okay, I've built the icon button correctly. That would be one thing that we can clarify. Okay, debugger's attached. Okay. Yeah, it's not hitting. Oh. Because it is disabled? No executable code found at line 131. I would disagree. Okay, well, let's see if we get anything. Okay, we got something. There's nothing in the current backstack. So, I mean, this is indicative of... okay, it literally just doesn't know about it. I wonder if we need to do something different for this remember nav controller in order for it to pick something up if it's not. The back button, I really want to action something that is outside of this activity. Okay, creates a nav host controller that handles the adding of compose navigator and dialog navigator. Additional navigator instances can be passed through navigators to be applied to the return nav controller. Note that each navigator must be separately remembered before being passed in here. Okay. Okay. Now I suppose we could take a look at what that prior implementation actually did. Yeah, find from input. I don't think that was ever called. Project settings, where was this? Here we are, support action bar. Okay. And this goes into display options. Toolbar. It talks about the window callback. Custom view, we set the icon. I'm really interested in the icon itself. At some point, it's got to define what happens when it's clicked on. Navigation mode. No. Interesting. Okay. It's got the drawable logo, it's got the drawable icon, set navigation icon. Here's the default. Okay. Waiting for a click in here. Set on click listener. Here we are. We at least see something. On menu item click. We're not doing that. The logo cannot be clicked, that's true. Set navigation on click listener. It's called navigate up. Put token nav controller in the app bar configuration. Okay, so if it navigated up, we return that. Otherwise, we call this app bar configuration .fallback on navigation up listener. Interesting. Navigate to a destination? No. The back stack. This is what we want. Now I can take a look at what was in that, in our resources. Didn't have anything there. May have deleted it already. But we have it on GitHub. So we could just take a look at what we put in there. App source, main, resources, layout. No, maybe I didn't. Here we are. Start time entry. Nothing fancy there. Nothing really here. Nothing really here. Nope. Okay, so that didn't help. That didn't help actually at all. I guess this preference screen has some of that built into it already. Okay. Let's see what else we've got on here. Oh, and now it's angry at me. Why is it angry at me? Yeah, I guess I didn't have anything else in here. So, what do we have here? I guess we had a nav host. Okay, so this is a remember nav controller. I don't think any of these tasker plugin examples used Jetpack Compose. Nope. Nope, definitely did not. Okay, so we don't have an example. At least not within Tasker. Back to previous activity, I guess. got the nav controller here. Okay. Yeah, not sure about that. It's gonna take a quick bathroom break. I'll be back. All right, let's get back at it. Handling back presses in jetpack and pose. Let's see how useful this is. This all seems to be within... Okay, so there's a back handler. I don't really want to intercept anything. Custom back navigation. Okay, so this just doesn't seem to be triggering the back button pressed. Pop backstack. Attempts to pop the controller's backstack analogous to when the user presses the system back button when the associated navigation host has focus. Did I make the change and not actually deploy it? I don't think that's the case. But it could be. Now, there might be some validation here that was preventing me from... Okay, so that's the runner. Here's the helper. This ties it all together. Maybe that's not a thing anymore. Okay. Highlight. This is the previous implementation. So we had this preferences data store, which got moved back and forth. Okay, so here's some back logic. So I do need to call the tasker helper. That's something I don't have. You know what? I haven't actually tied this into tasker at all from a passing in perspective. So let's maybe look at doing that. Let's get some of this up and running. Activity config start time entry 3. Okay, so this was a component activity, and I need to bring in the tasker plugin config. So let's get this here. Get start time entry input is what I want. Yep. Okay, I'm going to need a few things here to get this Need both of those. We need a sign from input. Okay. So this is what comes in. Start time entry. I kind of want to collect all these up and pass them in initially. Because input for tasker just gets declared. So really I can just pass these things in. So I want to... I'm setting the mutable state flow values here. Workspace ID is going to be a string. Project ID is going to be a string. Description is going to be a string. Someone's going to get their window privileges revoked. Okay. Project. Description. Okay, so I can say input for tasker.regular.on init workspace ID, project ID, description. So that creates that. So that means I've got a tasker helper in here somewhere as well. Here we are. Bam. So then the nav controller is really... I do need to call the tasker helper.onCreate. But I do want to call the tasker helper.onBackPressed. We can put the tasker helper on create there, and then on backpress. Let's just start with that. That's a fair amount of rejigging that just took place. Okay, there we are. Let's just pick that and see if this passes any of it back. It did not pass any of it back, yeah. So, how does this get... I suppose we could build something like this out. Now, the start time entry helper. So, aside from input is okay, so input.regularRun is working with that. Then the input for tasker. There's a sign from input, and then there's another way that we're working with content. Crap. How do we do this again? Okay, we can at least start setting a couple breakpoints here to just see what's going on. I'm interested in the on back pressed call. Interested what that does. So when I go back, okay, so we hit this. So this is in the finish for Asker. We've got config, input for tasker. Here's the regular value. Description, I didn't put anything, but the project ID should have something. It says it's null. So I might not be updating that properly. So if we take a look at the project ID, so this project ID at the view model has it. So the challenge here seems to be melding the input for tasker and the view model together. Okay, and so this is where, when I was looking at this earlier, so I've got this is the input for tasker. And I was thinking that we might want to have differing values there. And that is kind of making sense for me here. Keep the view state and the input for tasker separate elements. So the view model is just the state of this activity. But I think combining it together as part of the start time entry input is probably asking for more pain and confusion that I really want to get into. No, that's not what I want. Get Okay, so here's my constructor, and I use this preferences data store just for collecting the data. I don't think I need this, because I'm not using preferences anymore. Don't need the scroll stuff. Don't need that. Don't need that. Tasker input, though. This is really just a data class. So we could just convert this over to a data class and be done with it, I think. Did I need... Yes, it did need the JVM overloads. Okay. So let's just... can I just make this a data class? Okay, I've got... this is really the view state. So let's convert this over right now. This will be over into view state. This will be view state. And I think everything else down below is pretty isolated from it. All this stuff is going to complain because we don't have start time entry input, but we're going to build that out very quickly here. Daisy, are you being a pain in the ass? Yeah, you are. Don't harass the neighbors, okay? Hey, go lie down. Okay, tasker input root. We've got a data class, start time entry input, JVM overloads, constructor. And I'm pretty much just going to yank all of that. So we do not need to call this a JVM. It doesn't need to need that. We do not need these values. In fact, these can all be constructor parameter is never used as a property. Okay. Definitely have some changes we need to make here. Okay, so I don't need this in it anymore because this was a input thing. This area can go back to input from tasker.regular. I think you can say this is going to get confusing if I do that because now we're not going to be able to differentiate between workspace ID. We're just going to do this the old-fashioned way. Okay. That's our tasker input field. Be applying it. Now we would probably want to update the view model at the same time for these. In fact, aside from input, we might not even need to do this. Not at this point. But on the back crest, maybe that's really when we persist that data. Okay. So now we've separated out that. And in fact, now our view state can really start using more rich data types. We don't need to use strings to represent things. We don't need the workspace ID, project ID description. We could actually just, we could grab the toggle setup for this user and select the actual workspace, select the actual project or client, and client in that case. So that might be something to look into there. So I do think here we do want to start applying these down into the view model at the very least. So let's do that here. View model dot on workspace change, workspace ID. Oh, okay, so maybe that init function still serves a purpose for now. Yeah, let's do this for now. It's better than nothing. Now, I do think that this warrants some cleanup at some point, because I think that this is going to become unwieldy on a long-term basis. It's fine for now just to get us going. Project ID and description. There we are. Yeah, that could definitely be improved. It's fine for now. We just need to see this code working first before we actually... yeah, let's get it working first. Let's get it clean second. At least for this. Okay, let's get that compiling. Let's at least see that some of this stuff is running how we're expecting it to. I'm not expecting this to feed back into the input for Tasker yet. Didn't die, that's good. And let's hit that breakpoint here, just to make sure that we're seeing expected results. We can skip over that one for now. Okay. Here's our Tasker input. Nothing specified there, which is totally expected. I'm also not expecting this to populate the input for Tasker on changes there. Whether or not, gotta figure out where the right spot to do that is. Maybe I end up just pulling. I feel like we kind of want to do that all in one. Like we can use the view state to have things change temporarily, but don't update the input for Tasker until the very end. Let's just consolidate all of that into one spot. I think that's the right call. So that would be like on our, so we've got our scaffold here with our navigation icon that takes us back. So that's right there. Right now we're just calling on back crest. But I think we're going to want to pull the, at that point we would trigger the repopulation of the input for Tasker so that the helper can be called. I think that's the call. If I call this now, we're going to see nothing particularly useful here, I don't think. So we've got config, input for tasker, we've got our regular. So you can see that the workspace ID, project ID, description are all null. That's not surprising because we didn't actually populate them. Is input valid? Let's see what it says. It says it was successful. It's because we didn't have any validation that was actually running there. Okay. So with that in mind, let's just build a save function for now. On tasker save. I think that method reference should work, right? Nope, did not like that. Okay. Okay. So the on back pressed is the final step of that. But we do want to get the values out of here. So that's where these workspace ID states all come into play. So we'll be able to collect as state for these. Okay. Input for tasker. Okay, apply. And so that we'll be able to assign to each of those directly. Now we can work straight off of the view model here. Workspace ID state dot value. And now, fortunately, a little bit of copy paste-itis for now. I'm sure there's a better way of doing this. But again, get it working first. Description equals description state dot value. So we can apply that to the regular value there and have the on back pressed continue to be called. This will probably not do a live update. I don't know, the live updates haven't really been working for me in a lot of cases. Sometimes for like basic UI stuff, like if I change the like the painter resource on an icon, that will update automatically. But any sort of like logic change just like doesn't seem to port over. I don't know why. Okay, we hit that breakpoint. Good. That's one of them. Okay. $1 million question is, are we going to hit that? We do hit that. If you look at input for tasker, here's the regular. We do have our project ID. We do have a workspace ID. So that flows through here. We take a look at our inputs. We do have those values. They do actually show here. Okay, so we've actually like gotten to the point where we're doing something on our user interface. It's coming back into Tasker. Hypothetically, if I run this might actually update on my Toggl. Let's see. Where is I here? There. Either that or it totally burst into flames. It may have burst into flames. Oh, it burst into flames. Ooh, starting a foreground service without a type. Okay. that might be because I'm doing like incremental builds. That will be our cliffhanger for tomorrow. Yeah, failed to load asset path here. So it seems like it was expecting to have something loaded that wasn't actually there yet. So I have seen that happen when I'm doing actual builds of code, or doing like a live development work on it, and the current version doesn't update properly. Yep, that timed out. No surprise. So I'm expecting it to, yeah, do that same thing. So I'm gonna plug away at that tomorrow, but that we are at time for the day. I think this just requires like me to delete it off of the phone or the virtual device, reinstall it. I think we should be good. I think that'll work just fine. Okay, that's it for today. We'll be back tomorrow, same time. And we'll continue to make some progress. We can start cleaning up the display of these IDs here. We'll grab the whole Toggl, the comprehensive list of all the entries that we need, rather than just grabbing just the projects and just the workspaces. We can gather all of that. We can build the Moshi parsers for that. Made some progress. All right. We will see you all tomorrow. Adios.